Hot cross buns, yeah, yeah. Hello guys, Sebastian here again for Yes You Can. Another Easter is upon us. And I can't wait to teach you the most iconic dish that we make during Easter with our families, with our friends, with our kids. And this is the Easter edition made with the Yes You Can gluten-free plain flour. So the first thing you need is we're gonna get one orange and we're going to zest it, tap that into the bowl. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add your fruit. So I've got about 120 grams of raisins and about 20 grams of mixed peel. Add that into a bowl. And then we're going to take that same orange that we actually zested earlier, and then we're just going to get the juice of it into the actual bowl. So squeeze that in, mix it up, and leave it aside for some time until it actually starts to plump up. So for the next step, you need your dairy products. This is what's gonna give it that nice, rich texture to the actual chewy bun. For this, you're gonna need 100 mils of milk, full fat, that's actually about 38 degrees Celsius. And that goes in, followed by 85 grams of unsalted butter. That goes in as well. You wanna make sure that's actually soft as well. And then you wanna be adding about 80 grams of sour cream. Mix that in, and what's going to happen is the residual heat is going to melt all this up together. Start mixing this up very, very gently, as you can see. Now you're going to add the perfume, and I call it vanilla, as you all know. So 15 mils of beautiful organic vanilla paste that goes in. And finally, you've got to add the zest of that orange that we just did a bit earlier. So add that in and mix it up. So for your dry ingredients, you need that special gluten-free flour, which is obviously the iconic Yes You Can brand. So I'm going to use 440 grams of that gluten-free plain flour. That goes into the bowl. Then I'm going to add my sugars. I've got 40 grams of the brown sugar. That's going to go in. And then I'm going to add what I refer to as my cinnamon sugar, which is 38 grams of caster sugar and 2 grams of cinnamon, just to give that nice beautiful aroma. Then I've got all my wonderful spices. So I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of cardamom powder. In the allspice, what I've got is my clove, which is about 1/4 of a teaspoon, and I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. So that goes in. I'm now going to grab my zester and I'm going to whack in the freshly grated nutmeg. Add that in. And the next thing we actually need is yeast. Now with the yeast, I'm using instant gluten-free yeast, which is fantastic. I've got about 7 grams of that. Keep it on the other side of your bowl. So I'm going to just put it on this side. So all you got to do now is grab a nice dough mixer like this. Before you add the wet ingredients, just let the dry ingredients mix for a couple of times. I've got 2 more things to add in this recipe. I've got my smoked vanilla salt. Now if you don't have smoked vanilla salt, you can actually just add normal sea salt flakes. And you're going to add 155 gram egg. I'm just going to increase the speed a little bit so it actually mixes well. And now we can start to add in your wet ingredients one by one. So you want to just stop that speed for a bit, and you want to add half of it now, and we're going to mix it at a low speed to start with. So remember guys, the Yes You Can flour has no gluten. So the idea is to mimic gluten, and it's actually got some mixing agents that actually help mimic that gluten. So what we're trying to do is, by using the wet ingredients, we're going to combine all those flours that are in that gluten-free flour to be able to get into a nice, beautiful mix. I'm going to increase the speed now, and I'm going to add the remaining of that mix. And straight away you can actually see the dough coming together. We're going to add some sea salt flakes, I would say a pinch, and we're going to add 1 egg. That's coming together really nicely, as you can see. It takes a bit of time, that's okay, just be patient. So as you can see, the dough is now coming off the side, it's not sticking as much, and this is a good indication for you to now add that fruit mix. Add the entire mix to it. A few more minutes here, start slow. I am so happy with that. Just look at that mix. It looks absolutely beautiful. We're going to do the next step, which is to actually knead. So I've got the dough ready. The cool thing about the Yes You Can flour is that it comes actually in a 500 gram pack. So you've got that extra 60 grams to play with. So I'm just going to get my flour surface ready to go. Now get your hands nice and floury. and you want to just get that dough out. Get that flour in, not too much. You don't want to add all of it. Just see how much you need and just give it a mix so that it just forms into a nice shape. And you are going to now do your first proof. Grab your bowl, put that in the center, and what you want to do is just wrap it in Glad wrap, or if you've got a damp cloth, and you want it to be at about 25 to 28 degrees Celsius. There you go, leave that for about an hour. It will double in size, and that's when you can start rolling the dough into shape. So while we're waiting for the dough to actually rise, it's a good opportunity to actually get your other components done. So why not get the actual cross paste ready? For this, I've actually got 80 grams of the YesYouCan flour, which is going to go in. And then I'm going to be adding about 120 mils of water. So I'm just going to add that in little by little. And I'm going to use my spatula to actually turn that into a really nice paste. I'm just going to add the remaining. And you're going to get this, as we call a slurry, that actually turns finally into a paste. And all I'm doing now is just pouring that into a medium-sized piping bag, just a bit like this. I've just got something to hold it. Just lift it up and just twist it. And you can actually keep that ready for your next step. So for the glaze, which is going to coat that beautiful, delicious hot cross buns, I've used some apricot jam. You only need 30 mils. So my advice for you is just to heat it up and then strain it, and that's what you've got. To that, you're going to add about 15 mils of vanilla paste. And then we're going to add 20 mils of just water. Add that in and then give it a good mix. And this becomes your glaze. So for your final component, what you'll be needing is just an egg wash. Very simple. 1 tablespoon of cream and just 1 egg. So you want to break an egg. I'm using a 55-gram egg. And all you want to do is just slightly beat it up and just add the cream to it. And keep this ready with a beautiful pastry brush. We're going to take the dough out, and then I'm just going to flour my hand a little bit. I'm just going to let it just come onto the surface that you've actually got prepared over here. And what we're going to do is this dough will make about 12 luxurious sizes, roughly at about 70 grams each. So I'm just going to cut this dough into half. And I'm just going to get this, shape this a little bit so it makes it a lot easier to cut. So let's try and get 70 grams. Just going to cut a couple more. So I've scaled the dough and I've actually got 12 beautiful buns ready to actually roll. So I'm going to teach you how to roll them and just start to bring it together to the center, right? And then just use your palm, place it down, and then begin to just roll by shaping it. Just cup it. Hold it, cup it, and then keep turning it. There you go. That's one right there. There you have your 12 rolled and shaped YesYouCan gluten-free buns. Now we're going to cover it, and we're going to actually put that to proof for another 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half. As long as it's doubled in volume, I'm happy. The buns are ready after their second proof. We're going to check it out. Oh yes, that looks perfect. I'm now going to brush the Easter buns with my egg wash made with cream and egg, if you remember. So I'm just going to run these lovely crosses over each other, just like that. And once you've done that, you want to go the other direction. This looks perfect. I love it. So, as soon as it comes out of the oven, pick them up like this. If it's too hot for you, just grab a spoon or a towel to help you. Just rack them up on this cooling rack. And now we're going to begin to glaze. So remember, this is the apricot glaze I taught you how to make earlier. Give it a bit of a brush. Once you've actually coated your hot cross buns with the apricot glaze, have it straight away or just wait for a couple of minutes, especially if you've got kids. Well, there's only one thing left to do, which is to taste these little goodies. So let's have a look. Oh yes. Oh, they smell perfect. Now it's time to do a taste test. Got some really nice unsalted butter over here. Just liberally brush them while it's nice and hot. Look at them just melting on the actual hot cross bun. I've got a beautiful cup of espresso. These are just beautiful. And I think that's the beauty of the YesYouCan products. You know, even though you are gluten-free, you still don't miss out on these beautiful cheeky treats like an Easter hot cross bun. Well, get your friends, get your family, get them around a table and bake for them using this beautiful product. Happy Easter, everybody. And don't forget, at the end of this video, you're gonna be able to find a QR code which will take you directly to the recipe onto the website of YesYouCan. And I hope you enjoy it.